how I made $2,400 while watching Netflix. Now look, I know that sounds crazy, and a lot of people wouldn't even believe that's possible in the first place, but I remember that moment very clearly. I was just sitting on the couch and my phone was right next to me. I saw the screen lit up and it was a Stripe notification. I had made over 2,000 euros, which was around 2,400 US dollars that day. And that happened while I was literally being lazy watching Netflix. By the way, if you want me to personally teach you how I've made thousands of dollars of profit per day by selling online courses and coaching programs so you can do the same, click the link in the description to get a free training and apply for a free call with me so you can join my paid program. This will save you years of your life and tens of thousands of dollars you would otherwise be wasting trying to figure it out on your own. The fact that I was able to make 2,400 US dollars while watching Netflix literally goes against everything we've ever been told about making money. Ever since you and I were kids, we were asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? And at the time, I wanted to be a cop, or a spy, or a singer, a performer. I wanted to be so many different things. And at first, when you're a kid, people encourage your dreams. They tell you to go for it, that you'll be the best and you can do anything. And then as you get a bit older, the same people around you start telling you that all of those same dreams are just silly and that you should just get a quote-unquote real job instead. And let's face it, why do we go to school in the first place? We go to school so we can get into a good university, so we can get a good degree and then be a good boy and work the same boring, soulless job for the next 5 decades until retirement and pay our taxes and never question the system. And if we're honest, most people are going to follow that predetermined path and be completely fine with it. They won't love it most of the time, but they also don't have the balls to do anything about it. Most people can't even admit to themselves that what they really want is to make more money. They don't even have the balls to do that. They see some dude drive past them in a brand new Ferrari. That car literally costs more than their house. And they think that is just an asshole or a daddy's boy or a drug dealer. They don't even stop for a second and ask themselves, how can I make as much money as he does? What does he know that I don't? So I already know for a fact that just because of the title of this video, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate because a lot of people will say, oh yeah, it's just not true. You're just a liar, blah, blah, blah. And every time I see a hater comment, I genuinely feel sad for these people because I know exactly what their life will look like in 5 to 10 years from now. They'll be fat as fuck because they spend all their time working a job they hate, being stuck in traffic for hours every day, so they can come back home exhausted and microwave some cheap supermarket garbage meal because they don't even have the physical or mental energy to take care of themselves and make some healthy food. That's the sort of life that most people live on repeat every day. And then these lazy motherfuckers go on my videos or other successful people's videos and dislike or comment shit like, yeah bro, whatever, this is a scam. I mean, if this is your attitude genuinely, and you somehow still believe that getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for a bullshit university degree that will grant you the privilege of struggling to get a job, by any means, don't change anything about yourself or about your beliefs because you're going to go very far in life. Of course, but if you're like me, you cannot tolerate this mediocre, boring as hell life that society has tried to push onto us ever since we took our first breath. I'll tell you a bit about my backstory so you understand me better. I grew up in a low middle class family. It honestly wasn't a good environment at all. I didn't have a good relationship with my parents, and the relationship I had with my father was even worse. We pretty much hated each other because we were so similar yet so different. So a lot of the time, things would get brutal and he'd end up hitting me, and once or twice I too managed the balls to hit him back, and I was just a kid. Imagine being an 8-year-old and you're hitting your dad back. I mean bro, what the hell is that? Now my father was working as a nurse and my mother as a nursing assistant, and she was doing such a shitty, disgusting job it always made me sad. Over the dinner table, she'd often tell us these crazy nightmare stories that she'd have to deal with at work every night. But just to summarize it for you, without going into too much detail, out of respect for her, the kind of patients she had to deal with were very scary. She had to take care of very dangerous individuals, drug dealers, thugs, gang members, and they were all treating the hospital staff like shit. Everyone was overworked and underprotected. There was literally only one security guard for the entire building, and even he was afraid of the patients. It was such a shit show, I can't even describe it with words. Now, when it comes to my father, he used to be comfortable with his job, but after so many years of doing the same thing and being treated like shit, like a commodity by his superiors, he started to dislike it more and more, up to the point he started to despise it. And guess who would be the very first person to pick up the pieces and deal with the consequences of that? It was me. I can't remember how many times he'd get drunk, we'd get into arguments, we'd fight violently. And bro, I was 6 to 10 years old at best. I was a weak little kid. And for a long time, I was so angry at him, to be honest with you. When I'd be walking down the street and I'd see a father smiling at his son, or if it seemed like they were having fun, I couldn't help but feel this sense of jealousy, because I wanted that too. I didn't want to have to fight with my father all the time or hate him, because he was making me feel so miserable all of the damn time. It's not a childhood. But the reason I'm telling you all of this is because of the lesson that part of my life taught me. I didn't know anyone who genuinely loved their job. Everyone around me would always complain about the hours they worked, the people they had to deal with, whether it be their customers or co-workers, and of course, they would also complain about the pay. Because, I mean, let's face it, most people are broke as shit. Which is funny because sometimes I hear people say that 3K a month is a good salary. But bro, what do you honestly do with 3K a month? Especially if that's before you even pay taxes. 3K a month is the cost of rent for a good apartment in a big city. It's pennies. It's lunch money. I genuinely don't understand people who think that anything less than at least $10,000 a month is a good salary. $10,000 a month is minimum wage in today's world. I mean, come on, bro. Have you got any ambition at all? Some people make millions per month. Yet these clowns are like, oh wow, I'm totally fine with making the same 2K a month working a shitty entry-level job for the rest of my life. Yay! So from a very young age, I could clearly see the consequences of working a job you hate. Now, if your dream is to become a lawyer or a surgeon, by any means you have to go to university to get the required degree. But if you're like me, and you just want to build a life of complete freedom and abundance and make fuck you money, so much money that you don't even know how to spend it anymore, then going to university is probably the dumbest thing you could ever do. I'll tell you that man to man. Why would you want to learn from a broke university professor who's still driving a shitty Honda Fit when you can learn online from people who've made a shit ton of money? You've been sold the lie that you need to work harder if you want to make more money. It's just not true. The wealthiest people you see on social media, living the lifestyle you want, don't work that much more than you do in reality. The best business model you can possibly start is to sell an online course or a high-ticket coaching program around your interests or your passion. You get to do what you love for a living, so you wake up excited for each day. But on top of that, you only need to work 5 to 15 hours a week. And that's whether you're just getting started or you're making literally 6 to 7 figures a year in profit. So to earn more, you don't need to work more. Now, if you want me to personally teach you how I've made thousands of dollars in profit per day by selling online courses and coaching programs, so you can do the same, click the link in the description below. I've got a free video which explains everything, and you can also apply to book a free call with me. You won't be talking to a sales rep, you'll be talking to me, so you can join my paid program. With that being said, I'll see you on the other side.